Hello and welcome to ETC Audio Podcast. And joining us today is Raman Lama, aka 19, whose debut album Chitra Nasha is going to get released on March 28th on all leading music streaming platforms. In this conversation, we are going to talk about his debut album and in brief about his journey so far. So Raman, first of all, welcome to ETC.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Da.
So Raman, तपाईको जुन चाहिँ नयाँ album, in fact, this is your debut album called Chitra Nasha. So it's releasing on March 28th in Kurseong,
Yes.
of course. So tell us about your debut album.
Oh, the album is all about personal experiences. मेरो धेरै जीवनको अनुभवहरूमा बनिएको यो एल्बम हो. मेन विषय थीम चाहिँ एल्बममा त्यस्तो प्रकारको छ. So when I say it's based on my personal experience भनेपछि that means that it's also connected to like the things I'm connected to. I am connected to people like my friends and the things that I'm connected to. So it's when I say that it's mostly based on my personal experience. That means it's talking about me, my life in general, my friends, my relationships, my everything. So it's based on experiences. जीवनको अनुभवहरूको कुराहरू छ यो एल्बममा चाहिँ.
Before we head into the details of the album, because अब सायद यो audio podcastमा सबै कुरा भन्न नमिल्ला, तैपनि like before I talk about your entire album Chitra Nasha, so अब तपाईलाई 19 भनेर, that's your stage name 19 or the public domainमा 19 भनेर तपाईलाई चिन्दछ, but your original name happens to be Raman Lama. So tell us why 19? Why? What is the significance of 19?
Oh, it's not like I don't have like a very interesting kind of story that goes around this name, alright? So what happened was, by the time it was like I completed my college, but college time देखि नै मेरो साथी एकजना बस्थ्यो. On those रूममा we used to hang out a lot, and then we started listening to a lot of music. I mean, before that also I used to play in a metal band. Oh, so there's like the history. अलिकति हिस्ट्री चाहिँ छ यो नाम पछाडि मेटल ब्यान्डमा बजाउँथेँ तर I had stopped for a long while and मैले कलेज सकेँ and मैले म्युजिक केही गरेको थिइनँ. People knew that I could sing well, I could write well भनेर people would tell me किन नगरेको भनेर. I got a little lazy also at that time. So then again म मेरो साथी एकजना साथीसँग बसेर हामी used to listen to music a lot and बिस्तारै हामीले त्यो प्रोडक्सनको कामहरू त्यो फ्रुटी लुप्सहरू के चलाउनु पनि सिकेको थियो होइन. त्यतिखेर भर्खर नेपाली म्युजिक इन्डस्ट्री फेरि उता के अरे नेपालबाट त्यो र बार्सहरू आउनु थालेर होइन. यामा बुद्ध दाई आरआइपी रेस्ट इन पिस होइन. त्यहाँदेखि हल्का त्यो नेपाली म्युजिक इन्डस्ट्री पनि बढ्दै गयो. सो वी वर प्लानिङ टु डु द्याट. अन्त म्युजिक चाहिँ गर्ने हो भन्दा 2014 बित्यो, 2015 बित्यो, हुँदै भएन, 2016 पनि बित्यो, हुँदैन हो, 17 पनि बित्यो, भएन. So then I went to Delhi, then I started singing in local pubs and venues and stuff like that, and I also started working there at the same time. So त्यतिखेर चाहिँ के भयो भने चाहिँ यो पनि गर्छु भन्छु, म्युजिक गर्छु हुँदैन. So what I did was I knew that 2018 को beginningमा चाहिँ what I did was I knew that I had some money, I made some money at that point of time. I knew that I could invest into my music and I knew that मैले अब गर्न सक्छु होला अलिकति भनेर. देन 2019मा चाहिँ म जसरी पनि मेरो म्युजिक चाहिँ रिलिज गर्छु, म आफ्नो म्युजिक प्रड्युस गर्छु भनेर चाहिँ मैले 2019मा चाहिँ सोचेको थिएँ. So not to forget the time and the year 2019, I changed my Instagram name to 19 just to keep as a reminder to myself that 19 is what you're about to do music to in, होइन. So त्यो गरेर चाहिँ अब 19मा चाहिँ गर्ने भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ so त्यो त मैले नाम लेखेको मात्रै थिएँ कि. But as I told you earlier, I was also singing like locally around in pubs and all venues. So people started calling me like, oh, you're 19 from Instagram, no? So it sort of like became a name also.
Like, yeah, of course, you have been very popular.
Yeah. So त्यतिखेर I had just written it just to remind myself that 2019 is the year that I have to जसरी भए पनि I have to start producing my music खालको क्या. So त्यो भएर. But later it turned out to be a name.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll talk about more on your 19 part and about your personal stories in the video podcast that we might be doing it very shortly or very soon. So now let's come back to your debut album Chitra Nasha. So कतिवटा गीत छ यो तपाईको यो नयाँ एल्बममा?
I have in total 8 tracks. All 8 fresh new tracks and 1 intro. And the intro, let's say we've kept the intro just to set the mood for the whole album.
So, I mean, like, tell us more about the production team, like, who are really involved with the debut album. Then, so how are things going on your part in terms of promotion right now?
So I usually I write my music. I write the songs that I write lyrics and I compose it. On most composition, I have a little brother. It sounds weird because he's so little. But I'm there asking him ideas and stuff like that. I want to mention him as well. But usually I do most of the composition and lyrics. Composition. And then let's talk about, now let's move on to the production side, music production side. So this has been done by Mr. Adon Lepcha. Oh, he is originally from Gangtok, Sikkim, but now he is based in Siliguri, Wako studio, right? So he has done most of it. So what you can call it right now, there is not a lot of teamwork that went with this album. It's like written by one man, written, composed, and performed by me, and produced by Aaron Lepcha. But most of the backing vocals that has been done in the album is done by my little brother Aman Lama and Miss Claudia Pakrin.
All right. So can we expect that this album in future, in fact, that will we be able to see a music video coming out of one of the songs from this album? Like, will we be able to see that?
So we are planning on that. I don't think it's just going to be one song. So I think people are in for a treat. So it's not just one song. I think it's like more than one song. We're going to do because there are so many good tracks in the album. So we want to really represent it with some kind of visual storytelling. It might not be that fancy big videos, but videos are definitely coming out and coming out really well.
So you said that you already have around 8 songs and one is an intro, right? So what was the duration that it took for you to get all the songs done? Like now it's almost in the age you're going to release it very soon. Kati time lagyo tapale entire produce garne git dalle?
Oh yeah, actually the thing is there's a story, in 2019 I told you earlier. 2009 I released Matayar and Susanama. So I was about to release the album during the 20s. 2020 I released the album. We were supposed to release. Also there's 2 tracks in the album, Buneko Geet and June Feri. Yo duita geet 2020 I released record bhaisakeko थियो. Then the lockdown happened. Then everything went to, massive you all know it. The lockdown whereby we couldn't move, we couldn't do things and stuff like that. So the whole album went let's stop by. The whole production stopped because the producer was looking after his mom and stuff like that. Things happened, and after the lockdown opened, lockdown खुलिने बित्तिकै फेरि my producer had his ETChronicle exams. He's also a musician, no big musician. ETChronicle exam. त्यो भयो, so ETChronicle exams भएर. Then I'll tell you, I think we got it over around we started properly recording this album from December, January, February. So 4 months of duration. I think we completed the whole album.
All right. So this is a very critical.
And there were one more thing that I think I should mention is that there were other songs also that were supposed to be in the album but couldn't make it in the album. So these are the songs that are really good.
All right. So I know this is a very critical question to you, but जुन चाहिँ गीत तपाईको यो नयाँ एल्बममा छ हैन, तपाईहरु अलरेडी 2टा गीत सुनसाना र मारा र म तयार छु त तपाईले अलरेडी सिंगल्सहरु पहिला रिलिज गरिसक्नु भएको छ. This is your debut album with almost 8 songs and 1 intro, of course, हैन. यो 8वटा गीतमा एउटा गीत चाहिँ कुन चाहिँ तपाईको बेस्ट हो, कुन चाहिँले चाहिँ तपाईलाई एकदमै ज्यादा प्रभावित गर्छ तपाईको रेगुलर लाइफमा पनि?
This is really a hard question for me right now because
but still we want to know that.
But I think this is a real tough question. And I really love all the songs, but if I have to tell you the top 1, 2, 3 in order, then number 1 is the song called Chitra and Nasha. Number 2 is the song called Buneko Geet. And it's not that these songs are better than the other musically or melody-wise or lyrics-wise. So what I can personally for me, But the song that I can relate to more in that order, I think like Chitra and Nasha is at the top.
Alright,
and
alright.
and Nico and stuff.
Anyways, so I'm sure जति पनि audienceहरू हुन्छ तपाईँको listenersहरू हुन्छ they'll love all the songs of the album होइन. So
Thank you very much,
but
sir.
still like before we end up this podcast, the audio podcast for ETC, so since it's releasing, but still we want to know from yourself like tell us like what would you like to say to your viewers, the audience, or the listeners that's listening to this podcast right now about the album, like when is it releasing and everything, update them.
The album is being released on the 28th. It's going to be available on all major streaming platforms. That means you can like stream it, you can buy it if you want to support. So there's going to be all these options, and it's going to be there on iTunes, on Apple Music, on Spotify, on Amazon Music, and Instagram. And it's also going to be on YouTube. So you can check that out. I don't know if I have like anything special to say right now, but I am just looking forward that y'all will heart this album, y'all will love this album, pour some love and support this album. That's what I'd like to say.
Yeah, before we end up, so how excited are you?
I'm really excited, especially like I'm excited at the same time. I'm nervous also because I felt like the day the album gets over, all the things are done, I think I'll be like super like relieved and stuff like that. But I think I was wrong at that point a little bit at least. Like I'm not saying I'm like super anxious or panicky or stuff like that, but it is like giving me a little nervous. The more the days getting closer now, so I'm like more getting like a little anxious also at the same time. So and I'm excited as well, without a doubt.
Yeah, I can totally understand like what you're going through right now. Anyway, so Raman, thank you so much for speaking to ETC, and thank you for being with us in this ETC audio podcast. So
thank you very much, man.
Congratulations and best wishes, and I'm really looking forward for this entire album. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.